Hello, welcome to today's interview where I'm going to be interviewing Rigamarole. Say hello.
Hello, I am the Rigamarole.
Or Nick, I'll call you. But how are you, Nick, today?
Yeah, you can call me Nick, of course. I'm good, very good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm as great as I can be.
That's good. That's good. The sun is shining on this bright, blessed day in the southern hemisphere, or southern part of the northern hemisphere.
Yeah, down here in southern Florida. Very sunny outside. Why don't you introduce yourself for us, Nick?
I am Nick. I make cartoons and draw things, and I like to eat sushi. Sushi. I like to eat raw animals.
Sounds tasty. I can't eat sushi because I have an allergic reaction.
Oh, damn. That's a shame. Sushi's so good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good, but sadly because one time I had an octopus at a macaroni and grill, I think, and the next morning I woke up with difficulty to breathe. I was struggling to breathe, so yeah.
Oh, damn. Yeah, you might just have like a seafood allergy.
Yeah. I mean, I've been tested for it, but it says it came out negative. I'm not allergic to those, but I'm just too scared to try it again because I'm scared that it'll happen again.
Maybe it was just like food poisoning.
It might have been, but I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. One day I'll find out. I'll eat some seafood again, and if I die, then I'm allergic to it.
That's the litmus test.
I guess I'll give you the first question, Nick. So when did you start YouTube, Nick?
2014? No, 2015, I think? Yeah, it's because it's been almost 3 years now. Or, no, almost 4 years. So 2014. Damn, I don't know. I started halfway through college. I don't remember.
And why did you start YouTube, Nick? What got you into it?
I started YouTube because I liked to animate. Well, okay, actually, funny story. I was going to college for not cartoons, for other dumb shit, and I didn't like it, and halfway through I said, this stinks, and one of my friends actually got me into graphic design, so I was getting graphic design jobs on the side, and in my brain I'm like, yeah, I'll just finish college but just do graphic design without my degree because that's what I've been doing and it's fine. And then one day while I was working on a graphic design project, I like to listen to things in the background, and there was a MagFest panel of the Newgrounds animators, and I remembered them all because I used to love Newgrounds when I was younger, and I was like, oh my god, it's Ego Raptor and Chris and everybody's on the panel talking about cartoons, my favorite thing. And as they were talking about it, they were making sense because I used to animate when I was in middle school and make horrible, ugly shit. But I was familiar with Flash and animation, and I was like, god damn, they're making it sound so easy. Why don't I just fucking do that as well as graphic design? Because I would much rather make cartoons. Graphic design is fucking boring. And now here I am. Years later, I finally made cartoons.
I see. Evolution from graphics design, which is according to you boring as fuck, and now you animate cartoons.
Yeah. It's kind of a mouthful story, but that's what happened.
I see. Have you had any channels prior to this one? Or is this your first ever channel?
Well, I had an old channel when I was a little kid, but that one doesn't count. And then I made a channel when I was older for the Ice Bucket Challenge, but that's about it. And then the Rigamarole channel is the real deal, baby.
And why aren't you counting the one as a little kid? Did you not make videos on that or anything like that?
They weren't cartoons, so it's not really related to anything I do. It was fucking gameplay videos, and not even my gameplay. I would just splice together IGN clips and make stupid shit. It was like YouTube poop essentially, but not even good because I didn't have any real editing software.
Well, some YouTube poops are hella good. There's this guy called Emperor Lemon. Do you know him? No, but he makes fucking amazing YouTube poops. But he doesn't do them anymore.
Oh yeah, I've seen some good ones, but I'm saying mine weren't good because I didn't know how to edit that well as a kid.
Yeah, I used to watch YouTube poops back in 2011 and just laugh my ass off at them. But I don't watch them anymore because they're kind of a dead trend.
Yeah, it's all predictable now. It was the novelty wore off because what made them so funny was how fucking insane they were, and now it's oh, this is just a YouTube poop.
The editing was kind of all random. They would just distort shit, make it look weird. And when did you start drawing, Nick? When did you start to get into, drawing things and such?
Oh, always, I guess. Ever since I was little. You could probably go on my grandma's fridge and find shitty Marios that I drew. And from then, I always liked art. And then I remember one thing I did a lot prominently was in elementary school. You know how they give you the list of you gotta get a ruler and crayons and fucking testicles. And like on that list was a little like sketch note, but it was not a sketchbook. It was a little notepad so you could write down the homework every night so you don't forget it. But I was like, I'm not fucking retarded. I can remember what the homework is. Like, it's like, oh, just write your spelling words 5 times in a row. It's like, okay, I can remember this. So I decided to just use my fucking notebook to draw comics and shit. And my friends would do that too. Like, you know, we would all just like take our notebooks and instead of using them for what they're meant, we would just draw comics about each other. And like, we would be space marines killing aliens and shit. And it was a lot of fun. And I always drew from like then on.
And why did you start drawing, Nick? What got you into drawing?
That's a good question. I don't know. Fucking ADD, I guess. Just not being able, if I'm, another instance of me drawing when I'm not supposed to is like when I was in school, always like I would zone out mid-lecture and then just draw things in like the sidebar of my notebook because nothing was interesting at all. And I was a pretty good student too. I don't know. I just didn't care about anything I was learning.
So a disorder made you start drawing?
My mental instability.
Yeah. You psychopath.
Made me a fucking cartoonist. My fucking illness.
Yeah, and how did you learn to draw, Nick? Did you teach yourself? Did you watch tutorials? Did you read books on it? How'd you learn?
That's a good question. I'd say like 95% self-taught, like YouTube tutorials or like watching like a cartoon and just really paying attention to how it moves. I don't know, there's just a lot of ways you can just look at things visually and like dissect them. Like, oh, that line is thicker for this reason and that. And then the other 5% was like, you know, I'd always like opt for the art classes in school. Like when you take electives, I'd always like opt for that. But like they kind of sucked. Like that's why I'm giving them so little credit because they didn't teach you anything. They were like, here, do this thing, have fun. Okay. How do I do it? Just fucking do it, kid. Just do it.
Just go at it. Just whatever the hell you want to do. Go on.
It was like, here, draw this line horizontally across your paper. Horizontally. That is the horizon line. See why I said horizontally? Okay, now make things connect to it. Oh, that is perspective. It's like, fuck off, Da Vinci. Like, get out of here.
And when did you start to get into the animation, Nick? Is it like around the time you started your channel, or did you play around with it before that?
Well, no, I started getting into animation like late middle school, early high school. I got Flash. I got a fucking legal version of Flash, which I still use to this day. I swear to God, I made my mom buy it for me because I worked in her business, and instead of paying me, she was like, what do you want? Like, now's your paycheck time. What do you want? And I was like, I want Flash. And she got it for me, and I sucked. Like, I was young. I didn't understand, like, the principles of animation. I didn't understand, like, to make things bounce after a movement, to liven things up. And I was like, why does everything look so shitty? Why? So I did that, like, around that age. And then slowly I actually started getting into music, and I joined bands in high school, and I drifted away from animation. I was like, I'm not very good at it, not realizing I could just try and get better. So I did bands for a while, and then like I said, halfway through college, like the flame rekindled when I heard the Newgrounds animators. I'm like, well, that's what I wanted to do from the start. Like, fuck music. So I ended up switching back to animation, and I'm much happier in that regard.
I see. And why did you start animating? What do you think got you into it? Was it maybe like, because a lot of people tell me they drew inspiration from like watching cartoons as a kid and such.
Oh, like that? Why? Yeah, I think it's definitely that. I think it's from watching cartoons and like seeing the stories unfold, and you know, it's wanting to tell a story of your own with funny pictures and shit. And like video games too. Like I loved like how cheesy video games could be sometimes and how cartoony they are. And I'm like, I want to tell a story like this one, but in a cartoon.
Yeah, you never got into like video game animation or anything like that?
No, and like I don't think I want to. I like playing video games, but I feel like making one and creating one would kind of like spray a little gunpowder on that love, dirty it up, and be like, video games piss me off now.
How'd you learn to animate, Nick?
Tutorials, 100%. Well, I mean, like early on, just kind of figuring out the interface and program myself, like I said, when I was in middle school. But by the time I restarted again in college, all the fucking Newgrounds animators had made tutorials, and they were really helpful and good. Like Oni had a like pretty decent lip syncing tutorial that helped me out at first. The biggest one was fucking, I don't know if you've seen Harry Partridge, Happy Harry.
I know of him, but I haven't seen him.
Happy Harry makes some of the best, most fluid internet animation. And he had like a 12-part tutorial series, and it's all super, super helpful. It's kind of complicated, like, and daunting when you first watch it, because you're like, what? He's drawing so many layers and everything's moving. After you kind of like animate a little bit, you start understanding what he means, and it just becomes very helpful instead. And like, he also goes over like not just animation, but like audio, like framing for cameras and stuff. It's a very interesting series. If you're interested, I recommend.
And have you heard of the new monetization rules on YouTube, Nick?
No.
I don't know how reliable that no is.
Yeah, I have. They've been plaguing everyone, including me. But, like, I mean, my stuff goes green after review. It's just annoying that you have to review it every time.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. I have to request reviews all the time, but, like, since I don't get enough views to, for it to go back to green, it typically doesn't.
Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot that was the rule. Like, you need, like, what? A certain number.
1,000 views.
God damn, that's so fucking annoying. And I'm, like, pretty sure they do it on purpose, because, I guess it's easier to mark everything inappropriate to like protect. I don't know how it works. It's a bot. It's an algorithm.
Yeah, the bot's a bit of a spastic.
Yeah. Definitely.
Doesn't know what the hell to demonetize and what to monetize, so it just demonetizes everything it sees.
I had an idea. I mean, I talked to like a lot of people about this, and I'm just like, wouldn't it make more sense like if you get 10 green videos in a row, YouTube can just kind of flag you as a safe creator, and then they don't have to worry about you for a while?
That's not a bad idea. That's a pretty fucking good idea, actually.
Yeah, like if he has 10 green videos, like his next 10 are probably also going to be green. He's not like pushing the envelope here.
Yeah, unless it's one of the Paul brothers.
Well, yeah, like they're under a microscope, but I feel like there's a bit more effective ways of approaching this, and I think they're gonna, well, they said in their latest blog update, like, we're gonna reevaluate how we demonetize people, so I hope that is a better system.
Yeah, I think YouTube's starting to, like, be a little bit more transparent, but not, like, a whole lot more.
Oh, another thing they could do with the yellow is that you always have to, like, click request review, and you can't just have like auto request when this thing gets yellow, because sometimes like I'll be sleeping and my video will go yellow, and it's like, great, like that's like 6 hours I could have like requested a review and I didn't because I was asleep. So it'd be better if you could just auto check it, like just be like, yeah, I trust my fucking idea here, I trust it that it's gonna go green, so let me just auto check it.
Yeah, I agree. There should be like an auto review thing, like where it's like, just if my video gets demonetized, review it automatically. But wait, you sleep for 6 hours, Nick?
Well, no, I guess it depends. I try to sleep for 6 hours, but then I sleep for more.
6 is a bit little, because like I've heard that the minimum you should sleep is like 8 or 9 hours.
It depends from person to person, from what I hear. Like if you're very active, 6 hours is kind of all you need. Like, have you seen that Arnold Schwarzenegger speech where he's like, "This is how you accomplish your dreams. For 6 hours, you will work towards what you want. 6 hours, you will have fun and relax. 6 hours, you will sleep." And I forgot what the other 6 were.
I have not heard that speech, no, but you have a great Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, for sure.
It was pretty bad. I was doing like African by accident. You will sleep for 6 hours.
Fucking Ugandan.
I hate that meme.
Yeah, it's a shit meme. I'm glad it's dead. I was curious, Nick, could you voice every character in your animations?
Lately, yes, I have. I'm trying to think of like people who voiced other characters, because I could name them, because there's probably one or two. Tear of Grace. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's like a Let's Player on YouTube.
I have. I love his content.
Oh, you do? Okay, awesome. He's like a friend of mine, and I'm so grateful for him, because he's like the one guy who believed in me when he really shouldn't have. He found like my first ever Game Grumps video and was like, "This guy's fucking good." And I was like, really? And now looking back, I'm like, how did he see this and be like, this guy is worth following? But yeah, he's really cool. And he did a voice. He did in my Metro cartoon, the old guy who is like a fucking spastic wild man. And I'm super grateful for that. And then, who else voiced other people? One of my friends in the Full House cartoon, he did like a few voices in that. He's not a YouTuber, he's just a friend of mine, and he has a good speaking voice. And then Senor Pilo, do you know him?
Yeah, Senor Pelo, yeah.
Senor Pelo. He did Zelda. He did her screaming for Link in my Link cartoon. But other than that, and he was good. He fucking I thought it was funny because in the comments everyone was like, that sounds like Pello, and then everyone else was like, that is Pello.
Didn't you leave it in the description?
I did, but yeah, don't put it past people to read ever. But yeah, no, and he's super cool too. I talk to him sometimes. He's very nice. But yeah, other than that, I just voice everybody just because it's easier, I guess. Because with Pello, it was easy too because he's just voicing like one line. He's just saying one thing, and I wanted it to sound like him, so that was perfect. But everything else, it's like I like to micromanage, so it's like I can't be like, I feel bad being up a voice actor's throat and being like, can you do it again, but like make and like the word and sound a little whinier in that like 12-word sentence, and then it's just like a pain in the ass. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of like harder to get them to perfect it the way you want it.
I don't want to bother them. I don't want to be like, I'm so annoying. Change this word, please.
So this is the question that we were talking about before we started, that I almost, spoiled the surprise. So why did you choose the name Rigamarole?
Because my last name is Rigamarole. No, it's not. It's Regas. Actually, that's not even a secret. But it's spelled almost like Rigamarole. And I was like, I wanted to pick an alias. Like everyone has that internet username that makes no sense. But I was like, I want mine to make a little sense. I want it to be like related to my name somehow. And Rigamarole is a word in the dictionary, despite a lot of people not knowing that, which I didn't know. I thought it was common knowledge, but it's a word that just means like nonsense or like a lot of like bullshit. Like if someone says like, oh, I gotta like do this paperwork, but there's a lot of like rigmarole that I gotta jump through to get it done, like that kind of thing.
According to Google, rigamarole means either a long rambling story or statement and a lengthy and complicated procedure.
Yes, yeah, like just like a lot of nonsense essentially. So yeah, and I was like, well, that's a real word, and it's also kind of like my name, so I'll take that. And I rolled with it, and I don't know, I kind of liked it. It rolled off the tongue nicely for me.
When I saw your Twitter handle, Nick Rigamarole, I don't know why I said Rick Rigamarole. I was like, oh shit, is that his last name? Because I didn't know it was a word. I didn't think it was a word. But then I was like, it's probably not his last name.
No, it's close, but it's not.
Wait, you said your last name's Regas?
Yes.
How do you spell that?
R-I-G-A.
R-I-G-A?
Yes.
Regas. It sounds like Regas, though.
Well, it's Greek, so like no matter how anyone says it, it won't make sense.
Oh, I see. You made a parody on The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I was curious as to why, when was it that you released it? It was so many months after the release of Breath of the Wild, though.
I guess I'm pretty good with the timing considering the Mario cartoon, but the Zelda cartoon, I just kind of made it because I wanted to. Like the idea popped into my head, and I'm like, this is funny. And I guess it was like around the time the DLC came out, so it wasn't completely irrelevant.
I mean, yeah, I was just like confused. I'm like, how come he didn't like release it in March or like in April or something like that around the release of the game?
I just didn't have any ideas for it back then. And then that one just like popped into my head.
Yeah, and so you say, is it recording at the end of like every animation? Why is it that you say that? Why did you pick that catchphrase?
Well, contrary to popular belief, I did not steal it from Rick and Morty! Because apparently, I don't watch the credits of Rick and Morty, but apparently they have like ending slates, and they say something like, did you get that? Or something at the end, which I'm assuming they just did on a whim, like in the vocal booth, kind of how mine happened, because I was fucking recording, the Simpsons video that I did, the stupid one.
Yeah.
So that one I made like out of like just dumb shit. I'm like, I'm gonna go in the booth and just try to sound like Homer and Marge. And I had like gotten a really good take of Marge like saying something, and I was like, oh man, is it recording? Like, I hope I got that. And then when I was like putting the audio into the cartoon afterwards, I heard myself say that, is it recording? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I could like use that as an end slate. I don't know. I was like, I thought it was funny, and I just started, and then I did it for one cartoon, and then my idea was I'll do it different for every cartoon, like do a little outtake from each session at the end. But then Ricky was like, no, you should just make it, is it recording every time? Ricky Berwick, by the way. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right, like, less work for me, haha.
So you're just gonna stick to that catchphrase, is it recording?
I might change it eventually. Like, I've kind of seen these more recent ones with that end slate as like the season 2 of Rigamarole. I mean, mean, like, just by looking at them, these latest batch of cartoons are much different than, like, the Dark Souls one or the Metro one or even Full House. So I'm trying to, like, mix it up, and maybe if they change drastically again, I'll change the end slate too. Haha, yeah.
Why was there such a large gap between your Noodle Boy video and your an Undertale thing video?
Because fucking Undertale sucks. Why? Oh, because I was doing a lot of, like, commissioned animation work within that time. I did some stuff for Elvis the Alien. I don't know if you did see those. I don't know if you follow him. Do you know who that is?
I do. I really like him as well. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So have you seen, like, his clothing commercials with, like, the guy who goes into space and, like, tentacles burst out of his head and
Oh, you made those?
Yeah, I made that. I made the one with the alien skateboarding.
Oh, that's sick. I didn't even know you made those.
Yeah, I made that. I made, I'm Alex and Wild Spartans.
I do. Really big fan of both of them as well.
Yeah, they're real cool guys. And they commissioned me for a podcast they did, but I guess it kind of, like, died.
Which one? Comedic Relief?
Yeah, Comedic Relief. I did a lot of the art and the animation for that, and it kind of, like, slowly died away, I guess, because I forgot what they told me why. I guess because they started, like, one podcast too soon after another.
Yeah, they had the trending topic before that one, and that died.
But yeah, so, like, those months were just, like, filled with commissions. I did, like, some smaller stuff, like, smaller streamers would be like, hey, I need, like, a bumper for before I go live. Can you animate a Pokemon? And I was like, oh, okay, which Pokemon? And they're like, Bannet. And I'm like, that's pretty gay, but okay. And I did it.
I don't know much about Pokemon, so I don't know which Pokemon that is.
It's like a ghost Pokemon. And actually, it's not gay. I like Bannet. It's a cool design.
Oh, yeah, I know that Pokemon, yeah.
It's got, like, a zipper on its mouth. It's kind of gimpy.
Have you done any work for the other two guys on the trending topic, Bionic Pig and Yoder Anthony?
No, and I hesitate. Oh, I actually know who Yoder Anthony is, I think. But I hesitate. Well, the thing is, like, I don't know anything about the commentary community. So when Alex and, like, Wild Spartans hit me up, I'm like, yeah, who are you guys? And, like, whenever I talk to them, they're always talking about, like, other commentators. And I'm like, who's that? And it's so funny how they have to explain to me like I'm a child. But no, I don't. I haven't done work for the others because I don't even know who they are.
I can maybe link you Bionic Pig and Deodor Anthony's channel.
I know who Deodor Anthony is because I think he was part of Comedic Relief towards the end. Yeah, so I kind of know him.
Here, I'll link you Bionic Pig's channel real quick. Here he is. Do you know that man? Does that seem familiar?
Oh, I've seen the art before because my friend Blabberdookie made the art, the pig man.
Yeah, he's really good at art as well. I follow him on Twitter.
He's a good boy.
Yeah, I've never spoken to him though, but he makes very nice art, so that's good.
He's also down here with us.
In Florida, is he now?
Yeah, he's a boy.
Oh shit, I didn't even know that. Just follow him on Twitter because I think I found him through a YouTuber called Zaptai.
That sounds familiar.
He's fucked off. He was a guy that was a commentary YouTuber and he had like a bear as his icon, but he stopped making videos because he got called out for being a sociopath and a pedophile, according to I'm Alex, Elvis the Alien, and Bionic Pig.
Oh, Jesus.
I fucking loved his content, which is the worst part.
Again, I don't even know. I don't even know what any of this is.
Yeah, it took place like a year ago, so no one gives a shit about that anymore. I was curious, at the end of the Undertale video, you said you haven't played Undertale.
Yeah, okay, I'll admit, that's the only game I'll ever do that for. I'll play every other game.
So, you haven't played it and you don't intend on playing it?
I have it. It's funny you say that. I actually do have it installed on my computer, and I'm like, I guess I will play it eventually, but I haven't yet.
I keep trying to launch it, but it keeps crashing for some fucking reason, so I can't play it.
Oh, damn. Maybe you gotta just reinstall it.
I have. That's the worst part, and it still doesn't work.
Oh, damn.
It's like, fuck. It's like, damn it. I actually kind of wanted to play the game and beat it, but I can't. Oh, well.
Yeah, the Undertale thing, I just made that. I never played the game, but I had the idea for it. I'm like, well, it would be a waste to, like, have this idea and not do something with it. My only regret is I spent way too long making that cartoon.
How long did you spend on it?
It probably took, like, 2 or 3 months. Because, I mean, I was working on a lot of commissions in between, but, like, for what it is, for its, like, stupid jokes, I really shouldn't have, like, tried so hard with the animation and, like, the art. I should have made it look shittier. either.
I was just curious, even though we kind of stopped talking about it, I was just kind of curious. Like, how did the Wild Spartans and I'm Alex and all those guys find you?
Oh, definitely through Ricky Berwick. He's a good guy. Because I did his, oh yeah, another thing I did that took a while was, have you seen Ricky Berwick's SpongeBob intro?
Oh, you made that as well? Oh shit, that was great. Yeah, I saw it.
Thanks. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then I made that, and a lot of people like followed me because of that. And whenever people would ask for animators, Ricky would be like, "Well, this guy made my SpongeBob thing." That propelled me forward, and I'm ever grateful. And Ricky is actually he's a really good friend of mine. So
I assume that's how Elvis found you as well.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I assume. Yeah, you got like a shitload of people like seeing you from that animation you made for Ricky Berwick. Yeah, I follow him on Twitter, but the amount of Twitter videos he pumps out, like replies, can get a bit annoying sometimes.
I mean, I suggest you like, because I used to not be enamored by his content when I first started following him. I was like, oh, this is pretty basic and like boring after a while. But he's been trying so hard lately and like actually putting effort into editing and being creative. And I think it's so cool to see like the evolution of Ricky. Like some of his stuff is still shitposty, but other stuff it's like, oh, he fucking used After Effects and this shit, and it's like a produced product, and it's so funny.
Yeah, and it's like so cool to see that even though he is the way he is, you know, physically, that he does that shit. That's really like, you know, motivational, I guess.
He is what?
You know, like he has that disorder that he has, you know?
Crippled?
Yeah, crippled, for lack of a better word. Yeah, but I think it's really cool that he's doing that, even though he's crippled.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and he has a lot of fun.
I saw a video where he ate a cookie from his asshole. I mean, I wasn't too pleased by that video, but I did get a bit of a chuckle from it.
That's one of my faves.
But he's got balls to be eating a cookie out of his ass. I wouldn't do that. I'm just glad the cookie wasn't like smeared in shit or anything like that.
I mean, I'm sure he wiped beforehand. I'm sure he made sure his ass was clean.
Yeah, just eating a cookie with feces on it. Last question I've got for you here, Nick, and then we can conclude it.
Woo!
So what new and different things do you plan on doing to your channel this year?
Let's see, I definitely want to stream more, stream some art. I mean, and I stream games too, but I don't want to stream them on YouTube. Like, I want to stream art on YouTube on my channel, and then I'll stream games on, like, Twitch, because I'm not a fucking Let's Player. I don't want that on my channel. Other than that, I'm just going to keep trying to make cartoons, like I have been. I do have something original, like an original series, like, way far in the works, but it's starting. It's starting. Yeah, just more of the same for now, at least. Just with added streaming bonus. Oh, and Patreon. I made a Patreon recently, so there's gonna be some exclusive shit on there.
How many patrons do you have so far?
One, and he's a very good boy, and I send him things personally just because he's the only one. So I'm like, I just DM him on Twitter. I'm like, here's your reward, dude. Thank you.
Is he a good boy that you know, or is he just like a viewer of yours?
No, I've never met him, but he was really nice. He messaged me after he donated to my Patreon and was like, dude, your shit's really good. Like, you deserve it. And I'm like, oh, like, you didn't have to. What a nice guy.
Bless him if he's watching. Bless your heart.
Yeah, his name is Vladimations. I'm shouting him out. Vladimations.
Vladimations, I'll be sure to check that out.
But yeah, that was funny. And I mean, I haven't, like, to be honest, I haven't really promoted the Patreon. I want to make, like, a YouTube video like everyone else does where it's like, hey, now I have a Patreon, but...
Go donate, lol.
Yeah, like, I want to make it at least entertaining, so it's not just, like, me sticking my hand in their face, like, give me money. I want to at least give them a little chuckle. And that's the thing, like, the Patreon, again, like, it's a weird concept to me because it's like, you know, I want to give you something in return, so even for like $1 you get a reward.
Right, yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of like shitty when a YouTuber has a Patreon and they're just like, oh, you get no rewards, lol.
I forgot who made this argument, but it's like the difference between like a subscription and a donation, you know, like, are you subscribing to them or are you just donating out of kindness? And like, I want mine to be more like a subscription. I want to offer things in return.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to go with a Patreon, to be honest, like a subscription.
Yeah, I think so, because it's like, nothing's for free, baby.
I mean, if you want to like donate to be nice, I'd say like if they live stream or something, just, you know, donate on there.
Yeah, or like even go as far to ask for their like PayPal email. I know I've done that with a few people sometimes. I'll be like, yo, what's your PayPal? And they'll be like, no, you don't have to. And I'm like, what the fuck is your PayPal?
Just give me your damn PayPal so I can give you my goddamn money.
But yeah, that's where I'm at. And maybe in a year I will be dead. Oh no.
And do you have like any sub goals or any of that, or no?
Sub goals? Well, I mean, I'm very grateful that I surpassed my goals for last year. What was it? My 2017 goal was I want. And this was like pretty unrealistic too. Like I got really lucky with the Mario one, but my goal was like I just want one of my videos to hit 1 million views before the Game Grumps animated, my first ever Game Grumps animated, because that is shit. And it was like creeping on 1 million, and I'm like, oh, if that hits 1 million before anything else, I'm gonna die. So that was my goal, and then my goal for this year is just to make more, do more. I'm trying to have like a cartoon out every month at least.
Well, you're at like 30K right now, right?
Yeah, I think I just hit that. Wow.
I think shooting for like 50K would be nice for you. I don't know if 100K.
I mean, well, time will tell.
Yeah, time will have to tell indeed. Well, thank you for coming on, Nick. That's it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Jesus, my boy.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, Nick. Or Nicholas, if that's the full name. Or is it just Nick?
Nicholas was my doctor's name.
Oh, okay. Dr. Nicholas. Okay. Bless him if he's watching. Thank you for taking care of Nick over here.
He spanked me and brought me to life, and then I punched him in the nose. I said, don't touch me.
Okay. He molested you then, your doctor.
That's what is the spank of life other than the first molestation?
Wait, what? Sorry, you cut out?
Oh, I said, what is the spank of life other than the world's first molestation? You know do you know what the spank of life is?
No, let's have a look-see here.
What? The spank of life. It's when the doctor like pulls you out of your mom and just slaps you, makes you cry so that they know you're alive.
Oh, I see. I don't know if I had this done to me when I was born.
Maybe. I don't know if they even still do that anymore.
I would hope not.
Hey, nice kid.
Just beating the shit out of the kid to make sure he's alive. Thank you for watching the interview, everyone. If you have enjoyed it, you can go ahead and spam that like button, consider subscribing, share this interview with your family and friends, leave a comment down below. I'll see you next one. Take care and goodbye.